The American Drifters on Highland Radio. It's 6 minutes after 1 o'clock. Shorter show today, as we're wrapping up at 2 o'clock today. And we're up at iMotors up here in Drumkeen. As I said, it's their open weekend today and tomorrow. And you're more than welcome to come along. I'm delighted to say that one of the ambassadors for iMotors is with us in studio. A man probably needs no introduction. Michael Murphy, good afternoon to you.
Afternoon, Paul. How you all doing?
We're doing great. Come here. Tell us your association with iMotors. How did that come about?
Yeah, good question. A long time ago now. They've been huge supporters. I suppose now since probably in around 2011. Nearly 10 years more now. It was just a partnership. I don't live obviously too far away over in Glensfolly. In fairness to Seamus and Parrick at the time, the team here, they supported me really well. Always very fortunate to come up here. With transport and a car, I suppose, for each year since then. So I'm always very, 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 I suppose, proud to be able to go around it, no matter where I was based in Dublin or based around home here, to go around with any show motors at the time it was, and then now moved on to iMotors with the car and very.
What are you
very
currently driving?
Nissan Qashqai. Lovely car.
I had one of them. I was out in Italy one time at a wedding, and I went to hire, and they hired me one, right? And it was an automatic. I never drove anything like it. It's unbelievable, really fantastic car. But football-wise, you're taking it easy now. You're off season now, as they say.
The off season. It's fairly small, but and around kind of November, December tends to be your 2 months kind of off. December, obviously, training will start back up soon, and programs will start back again. And everybody will get them, but I've been kept busy. I was coaching a wee under-17 Glensfolly team there up until last weekend. We reached the county final. We got beaten, fortunately, on the day, but they were great. They kept me going for the last probably a couple of months after the football there, and enjoyed that, and a good wee group there, Of
course. Well, do you know, like as I say, for the likes of yourself, which is a great thing about the GA, you can have. You wouldn't get it in soccer, like people, like you're very well known as great, you're a role model to a lot of young people. You're down on the ground with them, and they would love that, They would,
Listen, that's the one thing that I love about it myself, no matter what kind of good days or bad days you get, maybe at some of the top level type games, your club is always there, and they're always there for you. They bring you back down to earth when you're getting a bit too high, and when you're at your low points, they help keep you up. So it's a great in that regard to have the club there, and very fortunate in that way.
You have a new management team now for the new season, being Paddy Carr and Aidan O'Rourke. Have you been dealing with them? Have you been speaking to them, or?
Listen, they're reaching out there now. Their last really 10 days. I know they'll be putting their kind of final preps and plans in place. They're just recently, I suppose, announced there, and listen, exciting. Two new fellas, two new faces coming in, a bit of freshness. I think's good. There's still a kind of a current real strong group of players there. I think to really kind of push on with Donegal, and I suppose Paddy is a strong resume there already in place, and Aidan, I suppose, has a strong resume too, as a footballer himself, and also too at club and inter-county level over the last number of years. So they'll bring a fresh approach, and sometimes that's just what's required, and that's what's required, and sometimes it takes very little. The margins at the top between winning and losing are what everybody says is cliched. They're very small, but at that top level they tend to be very small, and it can take very little to tip the scales in one way or another.
Well, we definitely wish them well. Do you know both of them on a personal basis away from the management side?
I wouldn't have came across them an awful lot. That kind of way, other from just watching football. Obviously, I know Paddy Carr would have managed Kilmacud Crokes at the time, and from watching football since there was no height, I would have seen him managing there, and also Aidan O'Rourke would have been a phenomenal player with Armagh at the time. So listen, Paddy has strong Donegal roots too. I think that's always good to know from being down there in Fanad. So listen, I know the Donegal crowd, the Donegal people in general will get behind things. New season will get up and running fairly soon again with McKenna Cup early January, and all of a sudden we're back into National League. See the fixtures released there, so listen, players will be mad to get back again, and that's the way the kind of season rolls.
When you do have off time like this here, is there a hunger to get back at it again?
It generally it moves and kind of spurts. You generally after after a season you get stuck straight in again with the club, and that's the way the split season has kind of worked. This year you're kind of finished from one straight into another season, so you had very little time to to settle. And then, after the club season that we had this year, we went probably a wee bit deeper into the championship than we would have first expected. Got knocked out in quarter-final stages. There generally is that craving for a couple of weeks of rest, and then, like anything athlete-wise, once you rest up for those couple of weeks, then all of a sudden you're like, okay, where do we go here now? And you're twiddling your thumbs,
The commitment to the likes of yourself and older players is huge at the minute, because the fitness levels are up there with international athletes. Everything's monitored. Everything's it's a big pressure on you there to maintain that, or
generally once you get to the level, and once you get to that certain level of fitness, that's the big change I would notice in the last probably 5 or 6 years at inter-county level, is you would never tend to drastically lose any of your fitness throughout the year. You would try and keep it at a certain level all year round. When I first came in inter-county, probably your October, November, December, you would have probably done very, very little, if nothing. And I suppose the energy that you got to put on to get yourself back up to the fitness levels would have been something that's this young generation now, and as you say, with things monitored so much all year round, and the season the way it is now too structured, you have to be playing for nearly 10 months a year. You can't ever really let yourself dip or go in that way,
Well, we wish you continued success with the county, and of course with your club, Glen Swilly. What's your plans for the future? If there's are you just going to keep going until you just decide?
Listen, every year, I think, as a player, every year I've done it since I was probably just turned 17 coming into the inter-county panel. You always look at the year at the very end of the year, and you kind of make decisions around it and see yourself. So I've been doing that. So, and around the next coming weeks again, when I see the team coming back, them decisions will be made again, and that's kind of the way I generally go about it.
That's the best way. I think that's the best way. Well, Michael we're delighted we have a signed Donegal jersey to give away this afternoon.
Yeah.
We're looking for a Toronto, but I can't find one. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But Michael's kind of give us a Donegal signed jersey, and if you fancy winning it, right, all you got to do is answer this simple question. Up here at iMotors, can you name one of the 2 brands of motors that iMotors are the main dealers for? Can you name one of the 2 brands that iMotors are responsible here at iMotors in Drumkeen? And text to 086 60 25,000 with your answer, plus your name and address if you don't mind. So one of the other, either Kia or the other one, whatever. Listen, so 086 60 25,000. We'll keep the lines open to round about 1:45, okay? If you fancy winning a signed Donegal jersey, well, that's all you got to do is name one of the 2 brands that iMotors are the main dealers for here. Michael, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. Continue success, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Will do. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Residential property owners. Has your